In this video, I'm going to break down a systematic step-by-step process that you can use to write all of your why university essays for your college applications. My name is Aman. I'm a university student studying computer science and economics. Now that we're well into the college application season, the why college essay is such a common essay that pretty much every college or university has you write in some shape or form. If you're applying to college this fall, chances are that you're going to have to write one, if not many, of these kinds of essays. I remember 2 years ago when I was applying to universities, every university I was applying to had this essay as a requirement. And because these essays are supposed to be ultra specific, I really had no clue what to put down for any of them. This led me to spend an exorbitant amount of time just staring at a blank page with nothing to put down. That's why I created the step-by-step guide to write any why college essay. Timestamps are in the description. Let's begin. The first step of writing a good why college essay is the research phase. Because of the pure volume of why college essays that you're going to have to write, chances are that you don't have a deeply personal, life-changing experience with each of them. This is why you need to have a process for coming up with reasons why you want to go to that college. The research phase is where you'll fill out this detailed outline and find out exactly what those reasons are. You should spend at least a couple hours doing in-depth research on each university and filling out these prompts. Step 1 of the research phase is choosing your niche. Your niche is a specific topic or subject that you're interested in studying that you'll be formatting your essay around. Your niche will line up with your choice majors, but it needs to be more specific than just biology or chemistry, even if you're majoring in those. The problem that a lot of students have is that they know the general area that they're studying, but they don't know exactly where they want to go with it. For example, you could put biology in this field, but that's way too broad. You need to pick a subtopic like genetics or something like that. So my niche was the connection between environmental science and computer science. The reason I picked this was the summer before I applied to college, I'd done some research which found a connection between environmental science and computer science and used some flooding models to predict the floods and where they would go before they happened. This is a pretty specific topic. That's why I made my niche using computer science to write models to predict natural disasters before they happen. This illustrates a really good technique that a lot of people use when finding their niche. They find two distinct areas that they're pretty interested in and then slam them together and make that connection their distinct topic. For me, that was environmental science and computer science. If I had just put down computer science, that would have been way too broad. Computer science is literally the most popular major at my university, and putting it down would have not separated me from the rest of the people in any way. Picking a specific topic sets you apart from the rest of the applicants. Also, you don't actually have to follow through with your subtopic when you go there. Your college application is made for you to get into the college, and you don't really have to stick with everything that you put down when you applied. I ended up dropping environmental science and I picked up economics instead. College is such a transformative experience, and they don't expect you to follow through word by word exactly what you put down when you initially applied. Also, make sure you have a bunch of extracurricular activities and classes to support your niche. For example, if you have a ton of physics classes and activities, don't put down anthropology as your subject. Step 2 of the research phase is searching for your topic at the university. The first part of this step is reformatting your niche into a research question. This will help you find opportunities at the university which explore your specific topic. My topic was the connection between environmental science and computer science, so I was able to reformat that into the question: how can we use prediction software to predict natural disasters before they occur? In my case, floods specifically. Once you have your question, it'll be much easier to find out what they do at the university to answer this question. Also, the fact that you have a specific problem you want to solve sets you apart from so many of the applicants to these universities. Colleges want to know why you want to go there, but they also want to know what you bring to the table. Having initiative and drive to take what you'll learn and solve real-world problems will show the university that you're not just there to learn, but you're actually going to make a tangible difference. Alright, so now we get to the good stuff. You're going to find specific opportunities at the university which align with your topic or answer your question. You're going to look for 5 categories at the university: research, clubs, classes, professors, and traditions. When researching these 5 areas, you need to make sure you're spending at least a couple hours per university and taking notes and saving links for everything that you find. Any extra effort that you put into this step will only help your future self when you're compiling this information into an actual essay. First, research. This is probably the most obvious one. What research are they currently doing at the university in the same area as your question? Literally Google the name of the university followed by your subtopics. You'll get a ton of information, so you need to take notes in a separate document on the specific studies that line up with your interests. Make sure you save the links to those specific studies so you can revisit them later on when you actually write your essay. Second, clubs. What kind of clubs or activities are already at the university that line up with your interests? For me, if I was interested in environmental science, I could find some sort of climate change activism club or something like that. This is an area where you don't have to stick to your specific topic, but you do need evidence in your application to show that you have a background in those interests. For example, whenever I wrote a Y essay, I would always say something about the jazz band or band programs at the university. This was because band was a huge part of my high school experience, and I wanted to continue playing saxophone when I went to university. This worked out because my application was full of different band-related events and activities, so it was supported. I also wrote about the Muslim Student Association because that culture was a big part of my upbringing and was something I wanted to explore further at university. Also, if you can't find a pre-existing club which matches your interest, you could always talk about starting your own club in that area, which would show motivation and drive. Third, classes. This is a really important area that a lot of people forget about. Most people write all about the university's extracurricular activities or traditions, but they forget that the majority of your time spent at the university is going to be doing your classes and studying. This is why you should look through their course catalog and look for classes that match your interests. Pick a few of those and store them in your notes because you might want to reference them later in your essay. Fourth, professors. This is another overlooked area. Most universities have professors that are very accomplished in their field. If you can find a few of them that are doing research or teaching classes in your topic, that would really add to your essay. Finally, traditions. This is a good area to talk about, but you need to exercise caution. Traditions are something that happen campus-wide, so a lot of people are going to be discussing them in their essays. If there's a broad university-wide tradition, you might not want to write about it, just because everyone else will also be talking about it, and it won't set you apart in any way. If there are specific traditions or events in your field, that might set you apart because it shows that you did research on the university, and it's something that everyone else won't be putting down. Now that you've researched those 5 areas, here's some other things that you should look for. If you have any experiences with the school or personal interactions with elements of the campus, you might want to write about those. For example, if you visited the college earlier in the year and you really liked a specific aspect of the campus, you could note that down and pull on that later for your essay. Any sort of unique connections to the college can go in this area. If your entire family went to that university and it's part of your family culture, you should talk about that. Most people don't have these special connections, but if you do, you should definitely use them. Everything you find in the research phase should be very specific and tailored to you. If you're applying to a California university, do not put down the weather as one of your reasons that you want to go there because everyone likes that. In this stage, the more information the better. You're simply creating an outline and gathering as many resources as possible to this one location. Don't even think about word count here, and make sure to save all the links and write short summaries of everything you note down just so you can revisit it later and it helps your future self when writing your essay. Alright, so now that you've thoroughly researched the university, we're going to talk about compiling the information together and actually writing your essay. There's not much I can say about these topics because writing an essay deserves a whole other video, but every well-written essay starts with a rough draft. This is where you consolidate all of that information you collected into a cohesive narrative. You probably have a massive Google document with a bunch of different links and resources, so the first step is creating a uniform outline. Here's how I create an outline with this huge quantity of information. First, I like to start out with a couple sentences explaining why I chose my personal topic. When I wrote this part, I basically talked about how my summer research led me to choose this niche. I then ended that paragraph by talking about how I wanted to pursue that topic at university. You're then going to go systematically through your information and try to hit all of it. You want to compile all of this into a narrative, so it might be good to start out with research and then show how that leads to classes and clubs and professors in your topic. Basically, you're going through all of your information and creating a uniform flow. You want to make sure that all of your elements of your essay connect to the next one. Don't just randomly throw in different elements of the university without first making sure that they naturally lead to each other. This is a pretty difficult topic to explain in a short period of time, so drop a comment down below if you want to know more about what goes into a good essay and how to create a cohesive narrative. I've always found the conclusion pretty difficult to write. Because you're not really adding anything to your essay through this, I would suggest just keeping it to one line. All you need to say is something like, overall, the computer science education at blank university would provide me the tools necessary to make a difference in flood prediction using software models. Don't overthink it and keep it short. It doesn't have to be that special, as the rest of the essay matters much more. Alright, so now that you have this general outline, you need to compile all of the different bullet points into paragraphs or sentences. There's not much I can say about this other than pay attention to word count. Now that you're actually writing your essay, you don't want to write a 2,000 word rough draft if the word count is 350 words. Now that you finish your rough draft, you need to do a lot of editing and cutting when creating your final draft. All your information is there, you just need to make sure that it's written well and everything flows properly. Make sure you have proper transitions between your ideas. You don't want to talk about research and then immediately jump to traditions without any sort of connection. Also, I would highly suggest that you have someone else read your essay and comment on it. The more the better. You don't have to take all of their suggestions, but an extra set of eyes is always good. The final draft should be as good as you can make it. You want to do multiple passes through every sentence and read it out loud. Make sure that no line or word feels awkward or out of place. This is why it's extremely important that you give yourself a few weeks to go through this process. You want to make sure that every line is perfect, and you need time and multiple revisions to do that. Let me know in the comments or DM me on Instagram or Twitter if you have any questions. I respond to everyone who comments or messages me, so make sure to do that if you have any suggestions or recommendations for future videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.